Is separating from a district a wise choice if you can't actually retire with benefits until you're 62? So if it's a remote possibility that you could stop what you're doing and still support your lifestyle and wait till 62, then by all means do it. So if you have enough saved, outside that you don't need to draw the pensions right away, if you've got a spouse that's working, then by all means, yeah, you definitely could wait till 62 to get your benefits. However, seeing that you're asking about 62, I'm assuming you have 30 years of service. Once you have 30 years of service, the penalty to taking it before 62, it's so small. I mean, if you took it at 60, it's a 5% penalty. It's not much at all. It's going to take you closer to 27 years to recoup the money that you would have saved by waiting those 2 years. So, in other words, someone that takes their money at 60 versus someone that waits at 62, because you started collecting your benefits at 60, you collect it for 61 and then 62. You got it for 2 full years. That amount of money that's now you collected, it's in your pocket. Granted, it's a little bit smaller because of the penalty. It's going to be so much larger than what the other person got in their pocket by waiting those 2 years that it would take that person that waited 62 about 27 years before they would have had the same out-of-pocket money withdrawn from the state, right? So collecting 2 years early, slightly lower versus waiting 2 years to get slightly higher benefit. It's usually over 20 years before those two actually catch up to have the same total distributions from the state. So if you're looking for total wealth, what can I totally draw from the state? The person that collects at 60, it's going to be well ahead. And by the time you catch up 20-some years on the road, you're going to be in your 80s. At that point, you probably don't care anymore. You lived your life. Life in your 60s is a lot different than life in your 80s. I'd rather get a few $100s less today per month to retire 2 full years early than be sitting on my couch in my 80s with a couple extra $100 a month going to my paycheck and not having the energy or the health to do what I want to do. So that's my personal take on it. I'm a big fan of early retirement. Knowing the systems, how it works is how I'm able to help most of my clients retire about 2.5 years early. It's about 930 days earlier than what they initially intended. And it doesn't always have to be someone that has 30 years of service. I've helped plenty of people that don't have 30 years of service that are 63, 65, 67 that thought they had to work longer, and once we go through the numbers, understand the penalties, they find out that quickly that working an extra year or so just isn't worth it anymore. The longer you work and pay into your pension plan, you start realizing the less and less is actually growing, and the benefit of going over a year starts becoming less and less over time. So example, let's say plan 3, your average salary is $70,000 per year, right? Remember, plan 3, you get 1% per year that you work. So if I go 10 years in plan 3 system, I'm now vested. 10 years, it gives me 10%. If my average salary stays the same, doesn't go up, let's say it's $70,000, I am now entitled to $7,000 a year in benefit. If I go one more year, go my 11th year, I know I'm going to get another 1% added on there, which 1% of $70,700. So my benefit went from $7,000, now it's going to be worth $7,700. So it's a 10% benefit for going that extra year. That's how much my annual pension just grew by because I put one more year in. But once you're in year 30, if we're getting 30% of 70, now we're at 21,000. Same thing. If I go for my 31st year, the benefit's only 700 in this case. Now I went from 21 to 21.7. It's like a 3% growth. So it's not growing as much anymore relative to what the pension ever accumulated. So in your early years, it starts accumulating faster. And as you get older, the benefit of going over a year is, in terms of just a net pension payout, is a lot less. Yes, you still get paid your salary and stuff, and that's important. But if you're only working because you want that one extra year, because you think the pension is going to be that much higher, or you're trying to avoid the penalty, most times, unless you're really tight on money, it ain't worth it. You're better off retiring and collecting the benefit right away. All right, so that's my take on it. Is it a wise choice? Really depends on your situation. I personally just say, if you got the 30 years of service, you're ready to go, most times it makes sense to start collecting benefits earlier. Now, you have to have your expenses under control and you have your budget in place. You should have enough funds invested outside of it to support the lifestyle. But if you got all that in check, by all means, collecting before 60 is usually my preferred method and how I like to see people go out. All right, so that's a wrap for today's episode. If you guys haven't done so yet, the link in the description below is to join our new free community, the Washington Wealth Breakthrough Group. It's a free training where I cover all of your Washington State benefits. I just released a video on how to read your benefits or your pay stub. So if you ever looked at your pay stub when you got paid and you're like, I don't know what these means, I go through it line by line. So I pulled various pay stubs. So I've got teacher pay stubs on there. I got people that work for the city, water sewer district, and things things like that. So inside Washington Wealth Breakthrough, you've got access to the community of over 100 different Washington State members. You can ask questions too if you need to. I'm in there to help and support you along the way. We have one free Zoom call per month where it's question and answer. I'll pop in, you can ask your questions. I also have a course I'm working on, so it's a free training. Currently it's over 3 hours long, going over all your different amazing benefits in detail. So if you like the stuff on YouTube or on the podcast, this is going to be a little bit slower because I want to make sure you guys understand how it all works, and we'll go through it line by line to make sure you understand your benefits better than your HR department. And just today I just dropped the video explaining how your pay stub works. So if you ever looked at a pay stub and wasn't sure exactly what all of the line items mean or those benefits, you just need some help understanding it, what you're looking at, I've got that broken down. I pulled a few different pay stubs from clients that work in different areas of the state, so you can kind of see the different payroll systems, how things laid out, how different employers will punch in or code the different line items, because they can actually vary quite a bit from employer to employer and can get confusing quickly. So that video just launched today. It's free to join. The link is in the description below. I hope to see you guys there. Until next time, remember that your future depends on what you do today.